what I'm going to do is show you a little bit about how to do this final assignment with the self-promotion and adding filters. And so I've got several layers on here. So I just created something with a golf theme with Rory McIlroy. Now, when you do your design, it's going to be about you. So this main picture will be you instead of somebody else. Now, we want to have a color scheme going through all of this. And so we've got this picture in the background, and it's so easy to leave a picture in the same color. So I've got this picture right here, but I also have it right here where I changed some colors and made it more monochromatic. And you see the effect that that does? So you're going to end up adding 10 plus pictures to this overall design. And I want you to fill the space a ton. So this is my background picture, and you can't really identify the background very well because everything else is filling up the space so well. And so that's what I want to achieve. So when you look back there, you don't really see just one consistent picture in the background. You see several pictures and a lot of depth. So you don't see a background over here and over here and over here and so on. Now, when we start adding these filters, and so here's a regular standard picture right here, okay? And so we go into this one right here. So all of these pictures are going to have filters. This one's got a filter. This has a filter. This picture back here has a filter. And so every picture, no pictures on your document are going to end up looking like an actual standard photo. And so here's our photo gallery, or filter gallery. And so we've got all of these different um, ways to add filters to your picture. So we want to try to get these to look as creative, unique as possible. And so we've got all of these different designs, and you could see what looks good and what doesn't. And some do, and some don't look good. So this one's kind of a fun one. So it's up to you what you end up doing. You could change the filter, the radius, the length. There's a lot of different things that you can do with each of these. Okay, so I'll start with something like that. Now, when you look at it, you should be able to identify that it has been edited with a filter. And so I'm going to try something like this one here. Okay, so you can see clearly there's a filter added to it. And then I'm going to go image adjustments and hue saturation. Now, I talked about this in my other video here. So when we colorize it, watch what happens to my saturation. See how the saturation goes way down? So I want to boost that some more, and then I'm going to make it more of a green. So we've got something like that going on. But when that saturation is way down here, you lose the bright colors that you want to achieve with this assignment. And so I've got something right there. Now, here's something kind of cool. So here's some golf balls right here, okay? What I added to it, so let's go delete that. So I've got this picture. If I want to, I can just grab the eraser tool and erase some of that. Another cool little trick is I can go in here. So I click on this little vector mask, okay? And then I'm going to click on my gradient. And I go black to checkerboard. And then when I do that, I'm going to go, and it kind of erases part of the picture. And so I can change it that way. I could change it here. So you could do all of these different things so it doesn't stand out a ton. Okay, maybe I leave it at 100%. But here's my focal point, and I want that in the foreground. So I'm just going to take this guy to there. And that will, oops, I'm going to move this guy too. Okay, so then the golf balls are kind of right there. With this piece now, I'm going to go back into filters and go into my filter gallery. Now I'm going to do a couple other things too, because I can go into here, but here's a ton of other filters that we can mess around with. So some of these, I mean, I can go into all of them and you can see them, or I can go in here and mess around with them in a different way. So it's up to you what you end up choosing. I'm trying to think of some of my favorites in here. Probably distort, and then you can go into some of these. So that works. Otherwise, just go into your filter gallery and mess around with it that way, so you can kind of see the different options, and you can have several that you want to try. And if it ends up going black and white, right, that's fine, because you can always change the color of it. And make sure that you can still see everything nicely. So I'm this one's changing to, oh, here we go. This is a good one. This is what I'm looking for. The artistic. So check out the top one here, and then you can go in and see all the different ways to add your filters to it. So we'll start with something like this. Okay. So there's my filter added, and then I'm going to go image, adjustments, hue saturation, click the colorize, and again make sure that you boost this up higher. And then you've got something like that. If you want to darken it, you can. If you want to lighten it, you can. So it's up to you what you end up doing for that. And then here's my main picture right here. I'm going to go filter, filter gallery, and then you can go through here and tweak it. So it's not showing up because it's way over here, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. And then it's up to you how you mess around with the um, filter that you add. So here are all these sketches. I'm going to just try one of these here. I'm just going to try this and see if it works. It might not. And then I'm going to go image adjustments, bring out the color in it. So we're going to go hue saturation, click the colorize, and then boost this some more. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. It looked terrible. So that one didn't work. Hey, I win some, I lose some. But you get the idea of how you work with these filters on here. Last thing I'm going to show you after I kind of change this to another one here. I think the cutout is pretty cool. Zoom out. Okay, so I've got something like that going on. So you see what's happening. Now the last thing that I want you to do with this assignment is we're going to add just a little border. Now there's different ways that you can create a border on it. For starters, what I'm going to do is, let's see, what you can do is, oops, you can make like a rectangle. So I made a new layer. Okay, so I made a shape like this. And then I'm going to make another shape inside of it, but I'm going to deselect it. So now I've got something like this. And then I grab the paint bucket. And I'm going to paint in there. And so you can see how it's kind of fading right there. And the reason is because it's underneath this layer. Okay, so now I've got something like that. Now if I want to change the color of it, I can go a color overlay and then maybe change it to a green. Maybe I want to go darker with it. So I've got something like that. If I want him in front, then I can have this. And now I still have that little border. Okay, if I want to, I can even make this maybe go to the corners. So instead of it just being in the middle, I can have something like this. And then I hit return. So those are some ways that you can go about creating the borders. Sometimes I like to just bring it in a little bit so it's there, but it kind of frames it, but it still ends up something like this. So anyway, I hope that helps you. Big part of this assignment is adding filters, making some crazy edits, add pictures, make them larger, make them fill the space more, get creative with this and have some fun. So good luck, and ask me any questions if you have any, or send me a draft and I'll be glad to help you moving forward. So good luck and have some fun.